very, very excited about you being here. Very excited about this day, about finally showing what it means to be an immersive platform. Like I think over the past few years, we've seen a lot of different talks about what a metaverse is, and like there's been a lot of hype and shitcoins and land and all these things, and really no judgment to all of these, but I think we set out to be different. And so before diving into what we're doing at oncyber today to bring you the best tools possible for the web and for the immersive web, I wanted to go over like a little bit on the background about oncyber, like a background about me a little bit, and kind of explain why we're different. Like it's not just that we set out to just do something different and we did it. No, it's like this is our life's work, and this is something that like truly means something to all of us. I think all the people on my team I can speak for, like this is something grander than anything we've seen before, and we really want to give you the best experience possible, and there's a reason behind it. So oncyber was really like a continuation of everything I've really seen in my life. So I grew up in Morocco. From a very early age I was interested in art and creativity, and although there wasn't many experiences in Morocco to visit, or museums or cultural experiences, I would go whenever I travel. I'd go to really cool museums and stuff. And so I've always really been interested in art, right? And of course, like I think we'll get back to it, but the fact that accessibility wasn't always there for me made me even more prompt to like make sure accessibility is something big in whatever I do. When I was about 13, I started programming, and at the same time, my father opened an art gallery in Casablanca, Morocco. And so I found it incredible how cool it was to be around artists and creatives, and like seeing how art could connect people. Like I very early on I understood how living an experience to enjoy art could really create bonds between people in like a very substantial way. And so the creative journey through an art show is something I've always found really interesting, as in like bringing a lot of people together, letting them connect with art, being kind of being a curator is more than just setting up a place with artworks. It's really setting a community place, a place where people can connect and bond. And so I found that really, really interesting. But at the same time as that, like as a programmer and pretty interested in crypto from a very early age, I found a lot of aspects of the art world very limiting. On one side, it was letting people discuss beauty, live, touch beauty. But on the other side, there was very deep business aspect rooted to it. Very centralized. There's a few people that control most of it. And so I think it always got me thinking about how I could help find new ways to democratize it. I think I grew up in the tech generation of people disrupting things, and I think art is always really what I set to disrupt. And so fast forward a few years after working on countless number of products, and I've always really loved building products. I stumbled upon NFTs in 2020, and directly it seems like a very magical thing, that encounter with NFTs, because I directly understand how it finally answers a lot of the questions and criticisms I had about the world of art, about how NFTs would come in. And I kind of, I mean, like, I don't mean to say like I understood it from the get-go, but I understood that opening the doors to everyone would make beauty accessible to so many more people around the world, and would kind of get a lot of more people involved in art and creativity at large. But hey, like I started looking in the NFT space, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going on, but I directly see that there's very few platforms. There's a big lack of proper platforms to contextualize of this all this new wave, all this new wave of creativity, right? Like there's a lot of new people coming into this space, a lot of very cool stuff set to be about to happen, but very few tools to like embrace that and contextualize that. At the time, I think the only two metaverse platforms that had any traction were Decentraland and CryptoVoxels, and both of them great platforms. They're really good options. I think they're very cool in the fact that they offer spatial context, like you could visit an experience and kind of feel that you're visiting something in a natural way, and it is great. But both of them had many problems. For one, they required a lot of capital to get started. I think we don't realize how the extent of that metaverse bull run what the extent of that metaverse bull run was, but like in order to build a space in Decentraland or CryptoVoxels, I think you had to go buy land for 5 to 10K and hire an architect, and it was a very lengthy process, you know. And so a lot of people were like looking into that to showcase and build art experiences, but it really wasn't fit for it, you know. Like, and even the UX of it, it was pretty tedious to get involved, like to get involved in those worlds and start creating. And so after understanding that there was something to do there, and finally I had my stone to put into the edifice, I decided to set out on this incredible mission. The goal being of making creativity accessible to everyone through immersive experiences, as we do at oncyber today. So very quickly, I was working with like the best person ever, Abdullah, and so with a team of only 2 people, both working live from their bedroom desk, in both in Casablanca, Morocco, we began to build oncyber. And so the start of oncyber was not what you have today. The product itself, it looked a bit weird. It wasn't the most polished product ever, but hey, like it did what it set out to do. And what it was is people come in, there's one template to select, one base space, and they can directly have access to their wallet. And we saw Snowfro today, who spoke about Art and Art was a very, very early community to get interested in oncyber, and how it would allow them to very easily curate shows with their artworks. And by the way, this is a picture of me, super early, same bedroom that I started the company in. I look 100 years younger than today, but hey, like Web3 moves so fast that I guess 100 years passed. And so like people really started digging what we did at oncyber. It was strong. It wasn't just an immersive space. It wasn't like we weren't trying to replicate Ready Player One or trying to really build the metaverse as people see it. We just thought, hey, we have a clear mission, really want to make sure to be the best platform and the best UX possible for people to do all these things, and we set out on that mission. And so pretty quickly the team grew. I went out and I thought, hey, like this is an opportunity. Like we have what it takes. Like we have a space, we have a community, we have a wave we need to catch. And so I went and tried to find the best people I could. Well, surprise is that I found more than that. I found some of the most talented and passionate people I've ever met. Like, and all of those PFPs are our team. We're not a very big team. Those are all the full-time people we work with, and really like how passionate they are. It was clear that at every single stage of hiring, like all these people made so much sense, and I could have never made anything without every single one of them. So shout out to them, and I'm going to shout out to them many times because they deserve so much credit. And so we all wanted the same thing, right? Like I think we saw like the thing with oncyber is the moment you start getting interested, then you feel like, hey, like if not like an incredible platform right now, this has the potential to become a true creative utopia. Really, anyone can participate. And what I mean anyone is no matter where you come from, no matter who you know, no matter how much money you have. And this is not something you usually find in the real world, right? Like in the real world, there's very often to participate, you need to know someone, pay someone, I don't know, like be in the right locations, be in the Silicon Valley. And I think, or for example, for building a company, you need to build it in the Silicon Valley. And hey, this very same company was built from a bedroom in Morocco initially. So this is the symbol that all of these things can be shattered. And so we set out to build this thing, and one concept that kept on coming back to me was this idea of creative composability. Now let me explain. A single oncyber experience is the result of the creative work of many people. Here you have artists, architects, curators, collectors, developers, and all of them might today represent or be the components of one single oncyber experience. And so we set out on a mission that was pretty simple in hindsight, but the idea was that to build the best possible oncyber experience, we'd need to empower every single one of these components to allow them to do as much as they want to do and get as creative as they can be. And so oncyber very quickly, like or slowly, depends how you look at it, but I could think quickly in the grand scheme of things. It became a platform where some of the most creative works on the web started being published, and democratizing access to creativity for creators on one hand and for visitors on the other hand, because today anyone can go visit an oncyber experience. You can have a mobile phone, be in a remote area, you have an internet connection and a good enough device, you can go and visit an oncyber experience. No one will stop you there. Um, and so by increasing the capabilities of each of these components, we started seeing more and more incredible things. See, like all these worlds that you see on this video, they're all the result of just us building the tools that with this philosophy. Like, how can we empower artists more? How can we empower architects more? How can we empower curators, collectors, all the subset of components that might make up an on-cyber experience? We need to empower them more and more and more. And so it became pretty clear, like the more we went, the more it looked like we were democratizing access to 3D content creation. If you're if you know about 3D, like about 3D modeling, like the only way to get past it before oncyber or to get past creating an immersive experience is to go into Blender, Cinema 4D, Unreal Engine, Unity, and all these things have a very steep learning curve. It's not very easy to get around. I've been trying for a while and it's still pretty hard. So they're great tools, but they're targeting certain subset of people, not necessarily axed on as much as on creativity as I would want. And so we went and like wanted to shatter that. We wanted to make sure that everyone could access, everyone could create content, because we could think 3D content creation is incredible. And so while these tools might have like a lot more to give on the creative front, like right now, as you saw, like you have to start with a template and you can only create as much from that template. But I think this is a thing of the past. Like we're not going to constrain users to just one box or anything. I think it's amazing in a lot of cases, and it's always got to be there, and it helps a lot of curators get the process really quick. But we want to make sure people can do as much as they can, really as much as they can. And this brings us on the idea of what's next for oncyber. What's the future of oncyber? Well, the future of oncyber is many things. One of them is exactly where you're standing right now. I'm reading a bit of the chat because I'm back here. This space itself is the future of oncyber. As you might have noticed, it runs really smooth in a browser. Like everyone managed to come in. I've heard for the first time that a lot of friends of mine managed to come into this experience and enjoy the party without having their computer overheat. Well, guess what? This whole space is only for 4.2 megabytes, and how crazy on 420 that this space is only 4.2 megabytes. And the whole tech is called the oncyber kit, the kit bashing. And so here is a little video to kind of explain how this works. You have a bunch of components that are ready for you to use, and you can go and spawn a component wherever you want. Okay. And of course, like the video shows that you start from like an actual base with buildings, but you would start with a completely empty base. So you can go and like grab around stuff. It's almost like The Sims, but with really great graphics and an incredible performance. And so this is one of the initiatives we have these days to try to make sure that people can do as much as they can from a blank base. This is one kit, and the kit that you're seeing right now was made in, well, the base of the kit was made a while ago, but the current version you see with all these visuals and not NYC, etc., was only made in a few days. Like actually, we started working on it, I think last week on Friday, on the new version of this city. Got it today. I think another thing I really want to mention is, like a lot of people mistake the metaverse for what it is. I think the one thing is democratizing tech, and the fact that we were able today to build this whole space in the matter of, I think in 2 weeks we set out to do this event called Not NYC, because we were kind of pissed off that again another event would be in New York and a lot of people wouldn't be able to participate, and hey, like all these FOMO messages on Twitter. they get us to feel a certain way. And so in only 2 weeks, and this is the power of the metaverse, we're able to put out an event with some of the best speakers in Web3, with some of the best visuals in the immersive web. And we allowed so many people from all across the world to join in. I need to check exactly like the number of countries that were represented today, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a very high number. And so apart from this world building with Kitbash, there's many initiatives we have lately to make sure that people can do as much as they can. And so I'm going to do a live demo, which is a bit risky in general because live demos are dangerous. But hey, like I've seen on Twitter some people saying that the AI stuff wasn't ready and that the interactivity thing, we weren't there. I think usually we always set to under promise and over deliver, and that's kind of what we do all the time. But here we really want to show what's the focus, what can be done in oncyber. And so enough said. I think I'm going to get to a demo. Okay, bear with me. I've had a very long day. Haven't slept yesterday. And so let me go to like my usual space. Okay, I'll take you to this space. Okay. I'm doing quite a few things at the same time. By the way, this is one of the first spaces I curated on Tiber, a very early collection. One of my favorite artworks here by the King Sartoshi. And so like, as you see it, like on Tiber, the usual on Tiber is this. Like you come here, you put a valuable NFT on the wall, and you can go ahead and change this, change the scale, do whatever you want here, etc. But the idea here is not to start and not to do things the usual oncyber way. So I'll go and create a new space with an empty grid. Okay, here we are in a completely empty zone. And as you might imagine, possibilities are endless. But what can we do with this magic composer here? So first off, I think I'm going to change the sky to something a bit more inspirational because I think I know where I want to get in terms of visuals. And so I type just change sky to a morning sky, and it changed it here, and you can see that it's like it looks pretty good. Now I want to recreate. I really want to recreate the Salar de Uyuni, this location in Chile that's I always wanted to visit, never managed to. And so here I'm going to type add salt white reflector to the floor to kind of give this like salty mirrored effect. And here you have like our basic setup. Now let's add like a coin model in front of me. Okay, so here is a coin model. I'm going to enable the 3D animations, probably make it a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to walk a little bit more. And then I'm going to add another one. Okay, which size did I take for this one? 29. All right, 29 it is. I'm going to set the animation on. And then I'm going to walk again. Put another one. 29 it was. Animations on. And then I walk more. I love music. I love to DJ, so I want to put a DJ booth in front of me. So add DJ booth from me. Okay, here's our DJ booth. And I might make it a bit smaller, but hey, I don't know. Let's see, a little bit smaller. Okay, so here's all these things. I kind of want to put a few artworks here, so add. This is one of the first artists I've ever collected. His name is Super Trip, amazing person, amazing art, and so I'm gonna put some of his artworks. Okay, a bit bigger. Now, one of the first artworks I've ever collected. Add. I'm gonna get this much bigger as well. I'll let you enjoy the artwork of it though. Okay, now this is pretty neat. Okay, I've generated this space only with text, and it works pretty well. It's a usual on cyberspace where you can bring people, invite whoever you want and kind of have fun. But we're not going to stop here. I think the idea is we want to do more than the usual, the kind of things we're used to doing. So here we're going to open this script editor. And what this does, it allows you to put interactivity on top of world. And so I'm going to go and create here's my prompt, create a new world variable called score and set it to 0. All right. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the coin. I'm going to select the coins. And I'm going to write, make this asset collectible. If users walk through it, add 1 to score and play a sound. All right. I generate this. And here it generates itself. Add it to all the coins. This coin again. And then I'm going to play around with the DJ booth. And so I'm going to say, I want to hide this. I want to make it a surprise. When people enter my space, I want them to only see coins. And then once they collect all the coins, I want them to be able to go and be part of the party. And so I'm going to go and generate this. Okay, we have the code, adding the code to all the assets. Oh, and one thing I want to do is actually like, I want people to have a party once they come here. So I'm going to set a global stream to this space, which is like a nice cast type of stream. Add it. This will be invisible once people come, and of course, like it's an early version. And also, I want to make sure that the music itself is, you can only listen to it once you get close. So I'm going to apply the same rule of making it not appear until like people collect all the coins. Let's save this. Okay, now I have a space, and so now it's time to go and check this space. Okay, so here I am, giant version of myself in an entirely new space I just created. I only see 3 coins in the space, so I'm going to go like them. And here it is. Here is the oncyber space that I set out to build. Now, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to share this space with everyone in the audience.